So to give you an idea of what this planned happenstance approach actually looks like in practice, I thought I'd talk to you a little bit about my own career journey to the point where I currently am now, working as a lecturer in careers education and guidance. So I was a student at Sheffield Hallam University between 2004 and 2007, and I studied criminology and social policy. Whilst I was a student, I also volunteered as a student representative, and in the first year I was just a student rep for my course and my group, if you like. After that, in the second and third year, I became a student rep at faculty level as well. I also got involved in some volunteering and worked with young unaccompanied refugees to make a documentary about their experiences of coming to this country. I also worked on a part-time basis, and I have actually been working on a part-time basis since I was about 12 years old, and this has definitely helped me to build my experience and my skill base. But whilst I was studying, I worked in my first year in the summer break. I worked for 6 months on a full-time basis as a full-time receptionist. Throughout my second and third year, I also worked as a part-time care assistant in a retirement home. So I got quite a lot of experience whilst I was at university. I certainly really enjoyed my degree, but I also got involved in volunteering and student rep system, and I was very interested in what was going on with the Students' Union at the time as well. So that was my 3 years at university. So what happened next? Well, when I graduated, I applied for a variety of different roles at Sheffield Hallam University because I wanted to actually continue experiencing SHU life, so I'd really enjoyed my time as a student. So I applied for a job as a graduation events assistant, and I was fairly lucky in that I got the first job that I applied for, and I worked to organise my own graduation as well as all my mates and my cohort's graduation ceremony that year, which was an excellent opportunity and a really interesting job. From that, I actually talked to a lot of different people across the university whilst I was at the graduation event, so I got to know quite a few different people in different departments and different faculties, which really helped me to build a strong network of contacts, and it made me visible, and that's one of the key things about this planned happenstance approach. So when a role as a course administrator working in student support came up, I applied for that, and again I was lucky and got the position. And working with student support is something that I have always really enjoyed. So I took the positive aspects of my student support role and thought that actually I would like to go into something that was more based around teaching. So I took quite a big risk, and it was actually a bit of a mistake, and went to do a year as a teaching assistant in a local primary school. I absolutely hated this job. I really enjoyed the teaching aspects of it, but I really think that working with primary school children every single day for a whole year was a very stressful experience and was definitely not for me. But again, I used that experience to my advantage and recognised what things about that job I actually really enjoyed and which things I didn't enjoy so much. So I contacted an old network or old contact from the graduation events assistant position and asked that person if I could come back or if there were any positions available, and she said yes there was, and that I could apply for it, and I applied for that position and was successful again. And that's the positive thing about building a network of contacts. If you work with people and they're impressed with the work you do, often you can rely on those contacts for support in the future, and obviously you can help them out as well. That's the whole point of networking. So I came back and I organised corporate events at Sheffield Hallam University for Conference 21, and then saw another position as a student and advice and support worker in the Faculty of Development and Society. So that's where we're based now. and I again got that job, and I worked in student advice and support for about 2.5 years, working with students, helping them with any course queries, module queries, and also helping them with things like referencing, applying for extenuating circumstances and extensions, and generally providing support when students are in distress, which is something that I continue to enjoy, but an aspect of that job that I really loved. I started to become really interested in guidance and in mentoring, and one of the courses that was available was an MA in Careers, Education and Guidance, and that's at the University of Huddersfield. So I looked into this because careers is something that I have actually been interested in for quite some time. So I decided that I would actually go along to an open day for that and spoke to the course leader, again building a network of contacts, taking risks, being flexible, and really liked the look of the course and was impressed with what Huddersfield had to offer. So I decided to start that course. I started that in 2011, and alongside that I've actually been lecturing and working in guidance in higher education since about 2011, and I was able to secure this position through the extensive amount of experience that I've actually had working at Sheffield Hallam University, my knowledge of how the university works, how student support works, my experience and knowledge around student development and student skill levels, and obviously my MA in Careers, Education and Guidance, or working towards that. So that's again how applying for jobs works if you're using a planned happenstance approach. So what happens next? And this is again one of the things that you should always be open to if you're going to be using this approach. I don't see my lecturing at Sheffield Hallam University and my guidance work here as an endpoint. I'm very happy in my current role at the moment, but I'm obviously open to other opportunities that come my way, and I get involved in a range of different things outside of the university as well. So I'm certainly not suggesting that this is my end point. I would like to continue to develop and grow and try different things as well. So hopefully you can see by having a look at my career journey so far that I've used a planned happenstance approach. There have been points when I've been clarifying my ideas, removing the blocks, expecting the unexpected and taking action. And there have been points at which I've taken risks. I've been flexible to different opportunities. I've been curious about my options, and I've also been optimistic and definitely persistent. So that's how this approach actually works. What about you? Have you had any experience of unplanned or unexpected events which have had a positive impact on your life? Think about that for a couple of minutes. And can you identify any areas in your life where you can see possibilities or opportunities? Are there things that you can do at Sheffield Hallam University that might broaden your opportunities or get you involved in things that you would previously not have considered? This slide is about all the different opportunities that are actually available to you at Sheffield Hallam University. But before I tell you a little bit more about all these opportunities, I would just like to add that you shouldn't see Sheffield Hallam University as the end of your world. There are things beyond Sheffield Hallam that you can get involved in, obviously, not just employment but volunteering, working within your community, working at a local or national level in various opportunities. So don't see the opportunities here as an end point or a block. So there's various ways of using the planned happenstance approach, using the networks and opportunities available here. First point, this one here, about union activity and student representation. How many of you have volunteered to become student reps? If you have, that's a great way of getting involved in both the union and with student representation at SSAS, and it will definitely open your eyes to various other opportunities both with the union and in representing students at this university. It's a good idea to think about your personal interests as well. So I know I've talked to a few of you about the musical talents that you have and about the gym membership or fitness levels that you upkeep. So if sport or music is something that you're interested in, or you have other hobbies or interests, think about how you can use those interests to develop new opportunities. We move to this point here, career guidance. We offer an extensive career guidance and education service at Sheffield Hallam University. So you can have one-to-one appointments or go to peer group sessions with other people, and the trained guidance workers there can talk to you about your different career ideas. And that might be something that you haven't yet considered, but something that you could get involved in and might help you to think about your interests, motivations and desires. There's also a career mentoring programme at Sheffield Hallam that you can get involved in. That's where we actually set you up with somebody who's working in an area of interest. So if you're interested in teaching, I know that we can set you up with a range of different professionals who work in the teaching sector. And there are lots of different events, fairs, talks and presentations at Sheffield Hallam on a weekly basis. Again, just take a look at the careers and events database. There's something going on almost every single day. So again, that's another really good way of getting involved. There are student societies. We have the Hallam Criminological Society. At the moment, talks going on every single week from a different person from the criminal justice sector. So again, that's another opportunity to get involved, hear more and learn more about this sector, and obviously to ask questions and to build networks. That moves me nicely onto this point here. Networking is a very key skill to develop. It's something that you can do quite easily at universities because of all these different opportunities that you have. So talk to people, find out what their interests are, find out if you have any shared interests, and keep in contact with those people as well. We have a range of volunteering opportunities. Just have a look at the Hallam Union website. We have opportunities ranging from working in the community, mentoring, working with schools, working with young people, working with elderly people. There's a whole mass of opportunities out there for you that the Hallam Union has set up. So look into that as well. Part-time employment is another opportunity. I know a lot of you work on a part-time basis to fund your studies and your living expenses. So think about how you can actually use that part-time experience to your advantage. Are there things that you could get involved in at work? Are you networking effectively at work? And then there's reading and academic study. So try not to think about academic study as something that stands alone, away from the rest of your life. Obviously, you're building a lot of knowledge and practicing new skills and developing current skills whilst you're studying, and that's really good too. But you're also building quite a reliable network of contacts there, not just with your peers, but with your tutors as well. So those are all the various and many things that we have available at Sheffield Hallam University, and I know that I have probably missed quite a few options off as well. So try and think about getting involved in any of these things. This week in the seminars, you're going to be thinking about your own career journey so far in relation to the planned happenstance approach. You're going to be having a look at some case studies and applying the planned happenstance approach to career planning. And you're also going to think about some of those opportunities that I've just covered, thinking about what you can actually do this year and over the next 2.5 years to put yourself in the best position to take advantage of various opportunities. Okay, so that's the end of this screencast. If you have any questions, please do get in touch with me via email, and I look forward to seeing you in the seminar.